An indicted lawyer with a suspended bar license is the reason Donald Trump picked Matt Gaetz as Attorney General and all the rest of his Department of Justice nominees and White House counsel, Solicitor General. All roads track back to Boris Epstein, an in-house attorney for Donald Trump who is responsible for all of these picks and may be rewarded, if that's the right word, by being given a special envoy position to try to solve the Russia-Ukraine issue and negotiate against Putin for a person who has zero foreign policy or diplomacy experience. I'm Michael Popak. Another shocking story here on Legal AF. Take a moment, hit the subscribe button. I'm Michael Popak at The Intersection. I've talked a lot about Boris Epstein. Boris Epstein was an unindicted co-conspirator in the D.C. election interference case. He's one of the people that tried to have Donald Trump cling to power. He was one of the people that coordinated the fake electors with the campaign, one of the leaders there, if you will. He was also the person that called for a riot outside a Detroit counting center in order to delay the certification of the election, all laid out by Jack Smith in his superseding indictment and in other places. Boris Epstein has also been indicted by the Attorney General of Arizona, Chris Mays, for his role in the fake elector scandal. And that indictment still stands. And new reporting by the New York Times says that he let his bar license lapse in New York, the only place where he is licensed. Donald Trump loves surrounding himself with disbarred or suspended from the bar lawyers, and Boris Epstein's no different. Now, every one of the people that Donald Trump has put up in the last several days for a White House counsel position, Department of Justice, all the way up to the Attorney General and the Solicitor General came out of the fevered mind of Boris Epstein. That's what reporting says, including the New York Times, and people were on the plane, people that saw the list that Boris Epstein prepared and leaked and compared it to the new names. Boris Epstein was the one that chose and brought together the criminal defense team for Donald Trump. Todd Blanche and Emile Beauvais, who have now been nominated as the Deputy Attorney General and Assistant to the Deputy Attorney General, they were Donald Trump's, and still are, his criminal defense lawyers, brought on board by Boris Epstein. In addition, Boris, you've seen him. You've seen pictures of him at all the arraignments for Donald Trump. He's that sweaty guy, balding in a three-piece suit. That's Boris Epstein. Now, he not only brought on Todd Blanche and Emile Beauvais, who, by the way, if the Matt Gaetz experiment blows up in everybody's face, which it is by all intents, by all information, it looks like it's about to, then I believe Todd Blanche would step into the role as Attorney General. Again, a Boris Epstein special. John Sauer, who's been nominated just in the last day to be the Solicitor General representing the United States of America in every position before the U.S. Supreme Court. That position often referred to as the 10th Supreme Court Justice. John Sauer, a anti-abortion, right-wing Leonard Leo special handpicked by Boris Epstein. And now he's gotten the plum job of being the Solicitor General, at least as a nominee. And even the White House counsel, William McGinley, is also somebody that came through Boris Epstein. Even outsiders and ones that are getting close to Donald Trump, like Elon Musk, are reportedly shaking their head about how much influence this Boris Epstein has. I mean, he physically looks like a giant version of Roy Cohn, who was Donald Trump's mentor, hard-fighting, sharp-elbowed lawyer. I mean, he even physically looks like him a little bit. And everybody around Donald Trump always hears him remark, "Where's my Roy Cohn?" And it looks like Boris Epstein has become his Roy Cohn. Michael Cohen was Donald Trump's Roy Cohn for a long, long time until he went to jail. And now, of course, Michael Cohen has seen the light and is with us over here on the Midas Touch Network. But Boris Epstein has not seen the light. Being an unindicted co-conspirator listed 2 years ago in the original Jack Smith special counsel indictment didn't back him off, and neither did the indictment and the arraignment of him in Arizona and possible jail time. Instead, he just keeps chugging along. Now, the new reporting is he's gotten sort of full of himself, and he's decided that he wants a job. And the job he wants is to try to solve the Ukraine-Russia war. Boris Epstein emigrated to this country He's a Russian Jewish descent, and he thinks he's going to step in and negotiate against Putin. Guy has absolutely no foreign policy experience, but this shouldn't surprise you because look who Donald Trump just nominated, or who just wants to appoint as the Middle East envoy. It's a guy named Mark Winnick, who is a golf buddy of his and a very small real estate developer who testified for Donald Trump. That's his big claim to fame as a quote-unquote expert in the Attorney General case that led the judge to find a $500 million fraud against Donald Trump. So this guy, Winnick, who also brought Donald Trump into the world of cryptocurrency and helped him found his company, he's been rewarded by trying to solve the Middle East peace crisis. Again, these are jokers. This deck of cards that Donald Trump is dealing out of is just all jokers. This is the most obscenely unqualified group of candidates ever. It's just an affront to everyone that voted for him, whether they're loyal, the cultists, the loyal people, the MAGA, the Republicans, the independents, whoever you are. This is an insult to your intelligence and an assault on the rule of law. There's no other way to put it. Matt Gaetz, apparently that Saturday night special was brought to you by Boris Epstein, who wanted originally someone else, but then when it looked like Matt Gaetz was a possibility and his name was being flouted, he pushed him hard. So if anybody can be considered the rabbi for Matt Gaetz, just to mix our metaphors a little bit, it is Boris Epstein. We got to call attention to these people so you know who is pulling the levers of power behind the scenes. And the fact that Donald Trump allows an indicted guy who's got a suspended bar license to make all of his major legal decisions says a lot about where this guy is at. Does he survive the entire 4 years of his administration? I doubt it. I have my own working theory that Donald Trump will try to do maximum damage in the first 2 years, lose in the midterms, get pardoned by J.D. Vance, and go into retirement. That's sort of my working theory. I think in the meantime, he wants to troll the liberals and the Democrats, progressives and free-thinking people with these ridiculous picks. Make the Senate do their job, which hopefully they're going to do, to reject the most extreme versions of them. I mean, RFK Jr. should not get confirmed. Matt Gaetz certainly shouldn't be. I just did a hot take about the sex scandal report that's about to drop against him that we'll all get our hands on, hopefully. That's going to bar him from ever getting anywhere near a cabinet position. Could Donald Trump slide him into a position within his administration that doesn't need Senate confirmation? Absolutely. He'll definitely do that. And as we said before the election, Donald Trump's just going to hold open the door and let in this entire rogues gallery of criminals and people that have been pardoned by him or will be pardoned by him. I mean, this is going to be a long list of felons that are going to be surrounding the first felon in chief, convicted felon Donald Trump. I don't know if he gets sentenced, but convicted felon. I mean, this is like dirty, rotten scoundrels come to the White House. But we got to talk about it, because if we don't, you don't have the information you need in order to evaluate as we continue to try to change the hearts and minds of people and move towards the midterm election and keep him pinned down with lawsuits to challenge his worst ideas, Donald Trump's, and his worst executive orders. I'll do it right here on Legal AF. You're here already. Hit the blue subscribe button. We need help. We need you to help us build our network. We're independent. No outside investors. We only do it with you. And I'm Michael Popak. I'm on the Midas Touch Network on all things Legal AF, including co-founded the podcast here on Legal AF, the new channel that we formed a few weeks before the election for a reason. We're glad you're here. So until my next contribution 24/7 to Legal AF, I'm Michael Popak, and I am reporting. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.